In this video, we are going to set up this VPC environment. First of all, we are going to create a VPC, and then after that, we create a 4 subnet like here. Then we create a root table for each subnet. And then we are going to link to the public root table to the internet gateway. At the end of the video, this environment is ready to provision the EC2 instance. So let's go to the AWS Management Console. So let's select the region you are going to work. In my case, I selected Tokyo. And after that, we are going to the VPC. So you can click the VPC here. But if you don't have the link, type the VPC in this box, and then you can get this link. So click here, and then you can see the top page of the VPC. Right. So let's create the VPC first. To do this, you can click here, but you can also click here. Just click the VPC link. If you refresh here, you can see the one VPC was already created, which is the default VPC. We don't use this. We create our own VPC. So let's click the create button. Keep this button as a default, and then type the name of the VPC. In my case, VPC. So any name is okay as long as you know which VPC you're working on. So this is the name of the VPC. And then IP address. So in my case, based on the design of the network, the 10.0.0.0, the 16. So this is the IP address we're going to set in the VPC. So let's type in here 10.0.0.0.16, right? So keep all the options as a default, and then no tag required. Click Create VPC button. So create a VPC is pretty much it. So it's already done. If you go back to the VPC page and then refresh the page, you can see the VPC you created here. Its status is available. Alright, so one thing we need to do is select this VPC and then click Action button and edit VPC setting. So one thing I always do is enable the DNS hostname. So default is unchecked. So if you check the box, this means you can access the EC2 instance through the hostname. So it's very handy. I think we should turn on this option. So click Save. So that's all we need to do in the VPC. Let's move on to the next level, is a subnet. So you can see the 3 subnet as a default, but we don't use this. So let's check the network diagram. So we have the 4 subnet. One is a public A, private B, database A. So that we are going to create. So, and then also IP address is designed 10.0.10.0.24. So that we are going to set management console. So let's click the create subnet button. And then in the VPC drop-down list, select the VPC you created in the previous step. Okay, so name of the subnet is, my case, veggie, public first, public A. So this is the name of the public, and then availability zone. In this Tokyo region here, it has 3 availability zone available. So let's select one of them. In this case, we don't use the low high availability, so no need to worry about too much. So just pick one of them. And the IP address is 10.0.10.0 and 24. So let's check that. So 10.0.10.0.24. This is the IP address we designed. Right? It's a tag, don't worry about it, and then click sub. Click create. All right. So one subnet has been created. So let's keep doing the create rest of the subnet. Okay, so now we create a 4 subnet. So let's sort by name. So database A, private B, and public A. And then this one is us linking in the VPC, page VPC that I created. And then this is IP address range. So important thing is, let's say it's two private. So this one and this one is a private A and private B. So make sure you select the different availability zone. So this means, in this case, this private A and private B subnet is only the high availability design. If the private A was down, this one is down, private B is still available. So that's why we need to select the two different availability zone. So I don't think it's gonna happening, but it's in case the availability zone 1C was down, but 1D was still available. So if the system is keep running if we keep this design. So that's the meaning of it. All right, so we finished creating the subnet. All right, so next step is going to create the root table. So like we saw before, this always has a default root table. We don't use it. We are going to create the root table for each subnet. So we are going to create the first one. So page. So I always put a prefix on the page and then root table. The first one is a public. Right. And then VPC. Make sure you select the new VPC you created in the previous step. And then that's it. Create root table. So we create a first root table. Let's create two more. So this is because we create a root table here now, but we create another root table for private subnet. But we create only one root table and then assign to both of them. Another root table is for the database subnet. So in total, we need three root table. One is the public, the other one is the private, the last one is the database, right? So create a second one is private. So that's it, because we assign this private root table to both private A and B. So select the VPC and that's it, right? So create another one. The last one is BP page root table database. Right? So this is database. I think I put the wrong name. Let's check this. Right? This name convention is wrong, so I don't really like it. Just keep the page root table and the name of it. So let me just, if something you make mistake, just delete. To select and delete root table. Then we can create one more. So type delete to delete the table. So don't worry about if you make mistake. Just we can redo it anytime. So name is page root table and private. Right, that we need to do. Okay. So now we have three root table. One is a public, the other one is a private, and then database. Okay. So next one is we have the subnet and the root table, but we haven't linked to the both of them. So let's do this. To do this, first, let's start from public. open the public root table, and you can see a subnet association. And then click this button, and then you can choose which subnet you're linking to this table. So this one is public. So public A is 1, and then create associate. So when we go back to the subnet association, you can see the public root table was linking to the public subnet. So this is the one we want. So same things we keep doing. So let's do that one more. Another one is private root table. So open the private root table and then assign, associate with the subnet. So to do this, we select the private subnet. In this case, we have a two subnet. Right? So we are linking this private root table to both private subnet. Right? So we check here. You can see private A and private B associate with the private root table. Okay. So last one is the database root table. Click here, click there, and then select the database subnet and save association. Then this database root table was linking to the database subnet. Okay. So we create the root table and subnet and the linking together. So now next step is the link the public root table to the internet gateway. So before we making a link, so we need to create the internet gateway first. So let's create the internet gateway. To do this, click this internet gateway link. And you can see this internet gateway is already there and associated with some VPC. What is VPC? So let's check this ID. So copy it and then go to the VPC. We have a two VPC. If I search by this ID, so this internet gateway was linked to the default VPC, but we don't use that. We are going to use our new VPC. So in this case, we go back to the internet gateway and then we need to detach this link. To do this, select the detach from the VPC. So this means detach from the default VPC, right? So it's okay. So detach it. And now it's available to attach to another one. So let's create, click the attach to VPC. This time we select to our VPC, not the default. So select our VPC we created in the previous step and then click attach. Now it's attached. So this one, this internet gateway is ID of the internet gateway. Right? This one is attached to our VPC. So that's good. Now we have the internet gateway. Okay. Then we are going to link to the public root table. Okay, so go back to the root table and then select the public root table here. So as a default, only the 10.0.0.0. This is only root that this root table has. So what does it mean by that? So this means this root table can access to the inside of 10.0.0.0. So inside the VPC is fine, but they cannot go out of this VPC. That's why we have the internet gateway and going out to the internet. So let's do this. To do this, we need to create a root. Click the root button and then click add root. So IP address is o.o.o.o and /0. So this means it's everything except that this IP address is going to this target. So what is the target? Target is internet gateway, right? So we could just create it. And then once you select the IG internet gateway, so we can select the list of the internet gateways available in your VPC. We have only one internet gateway available, so that's why only one entry we can see. So simply click here and then save changes. Right? So now we have two entries. So if we are going to the 10.0.0.0, so that's okay, it's inside of VPC. But except this, is everything is going to the internet gateway. Right? So this is a root table in the public root table. So that's it. So that's we set up the VPC internet gateway and the linking to the public root table. Right, so congratulations. So we finished the basic installation of VPC. The next step is to install the EC2 instance in the public and the private network. So it must be fun. Right, so see you in the next video.